second viewing. New look, same great taste. I'm Kyle.
I'm Dan.
West Side.
Mystic.
All right, guys. So on the show today, we're doing something brand new. This is a brand new segment on the second viewing. Brand new series. We're doing all the brand new stuff. Daniel, would you like to introduce what's going on today?
So essentially, just to support our Patreon fans with the new launch of our Patreon page at patreon.com/thesecondviewing, we decided to do a little extra something special and watch one of our least favorite sitcoms of all time, the one and only 2.5 Men, every day for an entire month. Now we're trying to cover all 12 seasons here, so this works out to roughly just over 4 hours, about 4.5 hours a day. That being said, we fucked ourselves a few times and we've forgotten to watch some episodes some nights, so we end up watching double the next. So give or take 7 one day, 0 the next.
Or, there's also things in life that sometimes are more important than 2.5 Men.
Debatable.
And we've missed a few episodes. It comes out to 11 a day, give or take, if things are going well. I think our calculations might have been fucked from the beginning because we're doing pretty good right now.
I mean, to be fair, every time we've ever tried to actually do the math on this, we're not in the right, so we're pretty drunk.
But yeah, I mean, the total of episodes comes out to 262 episodes, 12 seasons, like you were saying. But for this first part of this series, what we're going to do is cover the first 4 seasons.
Yeah, so we're going to take a look at what we've seen throughout the first 4 seasons, how it's progressed, how they found the formula they're looking for, all that kind of stuff. It'll be a shorter episode, but nonetheless, this is just to recap over the first 4 seasons and our experience watching it. Because after all, we're not doing this for us. We're not doing this because we like 2.5 Men. We're doing this for the fans.
Yeah. I think maybe we'll just, do the first 2 seasons, maybe take a real short break, and we'll come back, do 3, 4. Because we're probably going to need a break, a drink, a cold shower, one of the two.
We're sitting in this studio, and it's a fantastic studio, but there's no ventilation in here.
Oh, she's steamy. She's steamy.
And it's a friggin' hot day outside.
There's no ventilation for the sake of the audio quality, which
is fair, understandable. But she's toasty.
Oh, she has been ever since we've been in here. Have you guys seen us in here?
We need to just start bringing buckets of ice in here just to
honestly, if there's 3 ice cubes of ice on my neck right now, I'd be feeling it.
We'd have to bring some ice packs in here.
Or even just pictures of glaciers, like a mental thing.
Yeah,
we could do that.
Do the mental vibe, get some glacier photos.
Anyways.
Let's jump into it.
Let's jump in. So, like we were saying, we've been watching the show pretty much every day. There's been maybe
we've missed
half
a couple of days
where things have been kind of messed up. But
that being said, we're still on track.
Well, we're on track. Things are going well. And the first 4 seasons have been interesting. Now, Daniel, how much of 2.5 Men have you watched before we started this?
Well, I'm starting to realize I've seen a lot of it.
I didn't
know how much I had fucking seen, but apparently it's just always on TV, and
it's the Malcolm of the middle of our generation.
Yeah, pretty much. I feel like either my parents were watching it or it was just on or something or other, but I always managed to see, I'd say a good 50% of the episodes so far, which by the way, we're on season 7. We're just covering the first 4 today. But, about 50% of it I've seen.
Yeah, I agree. Honestly, my father was actually a big 2.5 Men fan for 2 to 3 years. And that would be his 20-minute turn my head off, eat some popcorn before bed kind of show.
Which I can respect. We had a discussion about 2.5 Men, and we kind of think it's, it's the blue collar, the working Joe, the guy that comes home and doesn't want to have to, think about the newest episode of Dexter or what's going to happen and blah, 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 blah. He just wants to tune into a shitty sitcom, relax, and have a beer, That being said, I do generally think this show is poisonous to our society. Yeah, 100%, yeah.
I feel more ignorant and dumber, if you will. More dumb? I don't know at this point. Anyways, so we'll set off the show, set up the first season describing what's going on. So the show features Charlie Harper, as played by the wonderful and always winning Charlie Sheen.
Always.
Full of tiger blood. Charlie Sheen was a good meme back in the day, hey? He was kind of killing it for meme status.
Yeah.
Winning, #winning.
I think recently he has been kind of killing it too. I mean, for sure in the last year.
Well, I think he's owned it now. But for a while, they're Charlie Sheen's crazy. Now he's kind of all right, that's his thing.
Yeah.
But anyways, so Charlie Harper, as played by Charlie Sheen, is a womanizing, drunk, successful jingle writer in Miami.
Yeah, essentially all he wanted in life was a house on a beach, a nice car, and to fuck a bunch of girls, and I guess spending money to get drunk all the time.
And just to clarify, that is about what 99.9% of the show is about.
Well, actually, I'd say a solid 33%.
Whoa.
Because 33% is that. The other 33% is Alan. The other 33% is Jake.
But it always revolves around Charlie's lifestyle.
Yeah, okay. I guess
And
that's
also,
fair.
like, Furiosa's the main character in Mad Max.
We're never getting over this, are we? We're never getting over this.
Anyways, no. So as you were saying, Alan, his brother, is how the show's premise or plot starts off. He comes in to ask Charlie if he can live with him because he's just been kicked out of his house by his wife, Judith, in which they're going to
And
get
that's
divorced.
how the whole 2.5 Men series begins. It's about these three guys living in the same house.
Yes.
I'm assuming the half a men is Jake because he's not a full man
Yeah,
yet.
I never really got
I'm guessing that's what it is. Mind you, I think you could say the same about Alan. I mean, that guy is the biggest bitch I've ever met in my entire life.
He's actually the worst. I
Sorry,
get
not
frustrated.
met.
He gets I get frustrated every time I watch the show just because of
Oh
him.
yeah, we often
We end up-
slam the
we end
table
up,
like,
like-
fucking hate this guy.
I can't stand him. And I get that. They write him that way, right? The writers of the show wrote him that way.
Oh yeah, they wrote him like a
specifically.
little bitch. I mean, that being said, I think the actor also plays it like even more of a little bitch.
This is Alan was also Ducky in Pretty in Pink. If anyone knows that,
Cares?
John Cryer. Actually, I was talking to a coworker of mine, and her mother's best friend or something like that lives next to him in Los Angeles. So.
A little fun fact.
So we might have an in. We'll hope get him on the cast if we can.
That would be great.
That would
dude.
be best case scenario.
So, anyways, so they've moved into this house together. The series follows, I guess you could say, Charlie around his life and how his brother has affected him. Just basically the life and times of these three dudes living in the house, their troubles. The ex-wife of Alan's comes back and around. All these weird relationships. I guess actually the show's less based around Charlie and it's more based around sex, I feel like.
Oh, 100%. It's one big sexual innuendo.
Like at this point, Jake's trying to fuck. That's the young kid.
We'll get to
Alan's
that,
always
though.
trying to fuck. Charlie's fucking and still trying to fuck. Like they're all just trying to fuck, really. Like the show's about sex.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned.
And it was rated PG for a wide audience. Also, just a brief recap of the numbers the show was getting.
15 million viewers per episode on average.
This is the fourth most popular sitcom of all time.
Which is embarrassing. I mean, wow.
As a human race, we've really degraded ourselves.
It's pretty bad. Things need to change, guys.
Yeah, honestly, this first season felt like just one big pilot to me, you know? It's just like one big, nothing happens, but if you put all 24 episodes together, I guess something happens.
But they're also still trying to figure out the formula, which we've discussed before, is that they often try to push in this little mushy moment. It's like where, they're all poking fun at each other every episode and some shitty stuff happens to Alan.
But at the end of the day, we're family.
Yeah, and then they have this little family moment. But it's it's not in a good way. It's sick. It's almost sickening.
Well, I mean, the only parts that I guess feel somewhat...
Excuse me.
that somewhat feel genuine here and there are with Jake, because he is a little kid. He's 8 at the time.
But his innocence disappears so quick.
True, but in the
know?
first season, I mean, although the mushy parts, I wouldn't call them good. I mean, when they are there, they don't feel as forced as they do in later seasons.
Yeah, it's a little bit more balanced, I guess. But at the same time,
There's no balance, though.
In the beginning, this first season, it's struggling to figure out what it is. It's
And
it's got some elements that could work with a mainstream audience, but it's kind of working. It's not really. So it's amazing to me that they got past the first season.
Oh, well, I mean, yes and no, dude. I think it's sad it was on for longer, but at the same time, I think it still hit all the blue collar notes you were talking about. It just gets worse, or not even worse, but worse for sure. It just gets more and more. It gets more and more extreme.
Yeah,
I mean, the show
does.
debuted in 2003. So think back 2003. Things were a bit tamer on TV at the time. But they literally, I would say, if anything, 2.5 Men's the reason why things got worse on TV. They kept pushing what they could get away with.
That's true. They do push some boundaries pretty hard in this show, especially for it to be rated PG. It's kind of unreal.
And the thing about say your Family Guys or your South Parks, the reason those things usually get away with is because they're cartoons. They're not real. They're not live action, right?
Yeah.
You could still argue that's you might get offended by that shit. I'm not too sure. Anyways, but that's kind of the main thing. It's a cartoon. It's fiction, complete fiction. It's animation. This is live action, and people are saying the most racist, sexist, misogynistic things constantly, as if it's just commonplace. And it's weird. It's so weird. It's this different idea of the world that exists in maybe.
It makes an extremist opinion of today, maybe not back in 2003, but an extremist opinion of today it makes it almost just normal or weird to think any differently. But I mean, also everyone in the show's an asshole.
There's
They're
no likable
all
characters.
fucking asshole. There's no one that's likable. Jake barely for a little bit, and then eventually it's like he sucks too.
I liked him for roughly 4 to 5 episodes.
Yeah.
But he was just a little kid. You can't really hate him, you know?
Exactly.
The only character we both kind of liked for the first season for like a couple episodes was Rose.
Yeah, Rose is Charlie's stalker. She
Yeah.
happened to live down the street. Charlie fucked her one night, never called her again, and she's been stalking ever since. Now, she kind of climbs up the balcony and ends up interacting with the family to the point where she's almost part of the household.
It's kind of like Home Improvement,
season
right?
2
You
and
know,
3.
and like Tim, the Toolman Taylor is talking to his neighbor across the fence.
Yeah.
They kind of do that every now and then.
Yeah, it's kind of got that same feel to it with Rose, but I don't know. I think just Rose is like the most consistent character.
Yeah, she has the one note. You never really get surprised by Rose because it's. I mean, what she does is what she does, and it's fine. I guess it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't really call her funny, but I also wouldn't call her dull.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I think the difference between the first season and the second season is the first season was trying to find its roots. Second season, they got rid of most of that mushy stuff and like focused more on the comedy aspect of it, or
Oh
like
my
the
God.
I guess you call it comedy. Like to me, it's not funny, but to apparently 15 million viewers, it's funny.
Well, it's so like it's all punchline. It's all punchline. Oh, holy shit! Also, the show is mainly laugh track. Like it's just laugh track.
I think we're definitely gonna need to talk about that.
Like
It's a pretty intricate laugh track, though.
they do what they to give them credit. They do what they can with the laugh track.
Dude, they like the best part of the show is the how intricate the laugh track is. It's a different laugh track every punchline. There's roughly 100 punchlines per episode.
Have you ever seen that Family Guy clip where Peter's watching the 2.5 Men? They're like 2.5 Men was recorded in front of a live studio ostrich, and then it pans to just one lone ostrich in the audience, like, ha ha. It's hilarious. It's one
No,
of my
I haven't
favorites.
seen that. That's funny.
No, the laugh track is. Oh, well, it's probably the worst and best thing about the show, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me want to kill myself, but at the same time,
Well, it's like it's like telling you to laugh, right?
but it's
Which
every,
is-
like, honestly, 10 seconds.
Every 10 seconds. It's like that's how often punchlines happen in the show, and that's how often they want you to laugh. It's almost like the laugh track begins tricking you into thinking the show's funny, especially if you're not paying attention to it that much. Like sometimes we're sitting in front of our laptop and like typing up a script or typing up something or typing up an episode for a TSV idea, whatever, but we're still watching the show, and you're kind of in this limbo where you're not giving either job 100%, but you're still doing both. And to the point where we've laughed at a couple of jokes, which is, we almost thought was scary. We had to step back
dude.
and say, whoa,
The first time we
that
laughed
wasn't
at a
funny.
joke in unison, we, like, did one of, like, the...
Whoa, what's going on here?
What's happening? The punchline thing is, like, that's why I think maybe people like it, because it's, like, you can literally turn your brain off for 5 minutes, come back to it, and there's a laugh, there's a joke. You're like, oh, okay. It's like, you don't have to follow anything. It's just, like, so neutral. It's like
Yeah.
nothing is down or up.
Exactly.
It's just mush. Honestly, I would compare this show a little bit to Adam Sandler comedy in a way. I get a bit of a Sandler vibe.
That's a deep comparison. That's a fucking hole to jump
I'm just
into
saying,
right now.
like it's all just like extreme humor. Nothing is ever clever, or not even
it's like
trying to be
It's
clever.
like they have the same style of joke, right? Which is a punchline joke, but they try to change it up or switch it up by like pushing the envelope of the content of the joke.
But
And
it's
so
always,
like
like,
every joke
immature.
is like a little bit more whoa, did they just say that? Whoa, but it's not. It's like shock factor and punchline
but
mixed
it's
together.
But it's not. It's all like fart jokes half the time, or like, toilet humor.
I'd say you could break down the jokes. Alan gets hurt or fucks up a situation. Charlie fucks a girl and brags about it or makes fun of someone. And Jake is eating or farting.
So it's like
Those are the three big jokes in the show.
it's like slapstick and toilet humor. That's all you got.
Basically.
It's I don't know, and that carries on way too much into the second season. The first season, I mean, it wasn't good, but it was whatever. It's what the show was what they're trying to figure out. I guess it works for some people.
And they took the shittiest parts of the show and elaborated on it so heavily that it became something.
Season 2 is it's mainly Alan from what I recall.
Yeah,
it's Alan focused.
Well, I think the first one is establishing the situation with Charlie, then it focuses on Alan, and then we move into Jake a little bit more, and then back onto Charlie, and then eventually it just becomes scattered.
Oh yeah, no, it totally does. And I just remember, like, the first 4 episodes of season 2 are literally just about Alan getting hurt at some point, or like, and then a laugh track happens. That's the whole thing it's about, or like Alan finding no success in something, not being able to find success.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't get it. Like,
It's so sad.
it's the
like
kind of thing where, like, okay,
depressing.
if someone's not achieving success and they're trying but they can't catch a break, maybe you should feel bad for him, but you can't because the guy's literally the worst human.
But at the same time, I feel like, there's place for that in comedy when someone fucks up, you know?
Totally.
There's place for that in comedy. Now, they're in this weird state where it's like you want to feel bad for him, but you can't because he sucks, but it's just not funny because he did fuck up. So it's like, it's just not funny.
I mean, if there's a likable character who's fucking up, you're either probably laughing at him fucking up, or you're kind of like, oh shit, I hope he catches a break,
Yeah.
Or you're at least hoping for that. Whether he does or not, I don't know. Story writing's different all the time. But in this case, like you're saying, I just can't understand the actions he makes, and I go back and forth in my head. And it's like, are they trying to make me think like that? Or like, do they want me just to hate this guy so much? But then I get to the point where I'm like, I can fucking care less about this. This is hard to watch. It's literally hard to watch.
I mean, you waste so much time trying to figure out what the screenwriters want you to think or the direction they're going in with the show, but at the end of the day, it's just nothing. It's just garbage.
This is probably a good time to bring up, that Chuck Lorre of the show apologized for creating the show.
Oh, God. I think that's actually a good time to leave it right now. We're going to stop and take a break here, but just keep this in mind before we do. Chuck Lorre apologized for the creation of this show.
Keep in mind, this is the same guy that made Mike and Molly and, of course, our second favorite show, Big Bang Theory. So
let that fester, and we're going to come back after a quick break. Here, guys, we need some water. It's so hot in here.
Another cold shower. We'll come back talking about 2.5 Men, Season 3 and 4. We'll get into it a little bit more. Who cares?
And we're back.
All right, guys, so we're just going to keep powering through the rest of the 2.5 Men we're covering this episode. We're going to talk about Season 3 and 4. Not a lot has changed, to be honest, but I think we both can agree that Season 3 is one of the better seasons.
Yes, so
overall.
far, of the 7 we've watched, Season 3 is my favorite. I still don't like it, but Season 3 is my favorite.
It's not good, but they kind of took the bland aspect of Season 1 with the, overcompensating extreme aspect of Season 2 and kind of just found that equilibrium a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, Jake's at a perfect age where it's like he's old enough to understand some stuff, but he's still young enough to be slightly innocent.
Right.
And,
that's a huge factor in the show, man. Mm-hmm. We'll talk about that in maybe another episode, but I think that's a big part. And I think that's maybe why Season 3 shines a little bit.
If there's one thing that's actually kind of cool about the show is the fact that Jake was there since a little kid, right? And
yeah, Richard Linklater, take boyhood and shove it up your 2.5 Men, because...
Straight up, dude. Fucking 2.5 Men walks all over that. Jake, respect, dude.
Yeah, good job, Angus. That's his name. Angus T. Jones.
Angus T. Jones.
Also, we just saw a picture of him recently.
Guy's not looking so hot.
I see that's his fault,
so hot.
So, anyways, yeah, Season 3, the better season so far of this lot.
This one is like playing around with the idea of Charlie settling down a little bit. It's toying with the idea.
Oh, okay, here's a cool thing to bring up. Not cool, god damn it. But just one thing they always talk about, like almost every second episode, I would say, is that Charlie has some like mommy issues or like mother issues.
Oh god, I forgot about that.
Up. It's like, oh, you don't want to be committed because your mother wasn't nurturing and you have mother issues and you don't want to resolve them, so you can't resolve your own issues. Okay, fair enough.
That's how they justify Charlie's behavior, essentially.
Yeah, that's how they do it. And I mean, okay, sure, that's an interesting character trait, I guess. But they bring it up literally, they kill it, they beat it to death.
Oh, you get sick of it.
And then, that's the thing about the show is nothing ever gets resolved or, has a justification. You never feel good about something. It just keeps going
around in a circle. Charlie gets engaged. He fucks it up. Alan gets into a relationship. He fucks it up.
They always fuck everything up. And, we were just talking about this.
Eats.
Before the break, we were just saying how, if a character is, consistently having, mishaps and unfortunate actions, okay, maybe we can feel bad for them, but there's no sympathy in the show whatsoever.
No, you don't want to feel sympathy because everyone's a piece of shit.
If you feel sympathy for any character in the show, I feel like you might have some issues. I'm going to go ahead and say that.
It's 15 million people.
Those people have some issues. A third of Canada has some issues.
Dude, I feel like that encompasses the States too, so.
It's mainly States viewers. I saw a little graph. That doesn't surprise me, truthfully.
Me either.
Anyway. Jesus. So, yeah. Okay, so I guess the show, you're right. In the season, you're right. He does talk about him settling down or the idea of being in a committed relationship. So they bring up this mother issue thing a lot more in this season. In season 1 and 2, they talk about it a fair amount, but it's more prevalent in this one.
What's kind of annoying is that every time Charlie and Alan's mom shows up, she's a bitch, but they refer to her as the she-devil. As soon as she walks in the door, they're literally paying Jake to talk to her. Like, they just build her up as this person you want to hate, but in my eyes, she's actually one of the better characters. She's definitely not as shitty as her fucking terrible sons.
No, and I mean, there's a lot of similarities in, like, the way the actions characters they do. There's a lot of similarities in the actions that the mother and Charlie do, and I guess that's kind of where they, like, try to make things seem funny or relatable. Right. But like you're saying, no, she's really Evelyn. That's her character. Well, she's not that bad.
They kind of talk about, or they try to bring up the fact that Alan dealt with his mother in a different way than Charlie. Like, Alan dealt with it by because he didn't get any emotional support as a child. He's trying to like be the person to give emotional support to others now that he's an adult. Whereas Charlie went the opposite way and basically became a guy version of his mother.
Just
didn't want to tap into his emotions or whatever the fuck.
But
they make jokes about it so much, and
it's so bad.
It's painful. Now I say, that's pretty much season 3. Let's talk about season 4.
Well, I mean, there's a big plot point that happens in season 3.
Yeah. Okay. So that leads into season 4.
Yes. So Charlie he has a crush on Jake's they're not even ballet. I forget how he meets her. He stumbles across some ballet studio where this girl Mia is teaching ballet.
Oh, he sees her at that coffee shop they're always at, and then he tries to hit on her, but she's not having none of it.
Yes,
right?
And he's like, "Oh well, I'm gonna chase her down," kind of thing. Finds out that she teaches ballet to kids. Convinces Jake to join the ballet class
just to hit on her.
And the episode progresses in the way that she agrees to go on a date with him, and they start dating.
Yeah.
Okay, I believe they end up breaking up for a bit because he doesn't want to commit. Something like that. It's just a typical 2.5 minutes scenario. And then near the end of the season, though, they decide to give it another go. And Charlie proposes to her, and she says yes. So.
And then they end up not getting married, and then Charlie tries to get her back and proposes again, and they end up going to like Vegas to get married. But then, what happens? It's like
they're gonna get married. Yeah.
Mia says, if we're getting married, Alan's got to move out, and Charlie was like, well, I'm not kicking out my brother, and then they don't get married, and
then right away Alan wins. Alan decides to marry the girl he's seeing, Candy, and he wins a bunch of money at the casino and tells Charlie that he's moving out right away. So Charlie's pissed off that 1, he's not getting married. 2, Alan moved out. And he basically ruined his marriage so Alan could stay. And 3, Alan's rich and things are looking up for him and things looking down for him.
And that
season ends
season
right there.
3.
Also, this Candy girl did date. She dated Charlie for like one time or something.
Yeah, that's how they met, I think, is fucking.
And she's actually Candy's. We should maybe talk about Candy for a second.
Candy's definitely one of our favorite characters.
Probably one of the best.
She's dumb, but in a cute kind of way. She's generally speaking a nice girl, and she's never unhappy. Whenever she's around you, you never feel that pissed off. You're kind of like, Alan's fucking around, but Candy's fine.
And her jokes are always just one train of thought. They're never funny, but again, kind of like Rose. She does her one thing right.
Yeah, and she does her one thing right, and that's respect. In comparison to the other shitty characters, it's good.
Candy, I think we definitely enjoyed. She was pretty funny, I guess. I don't know. She added something to the show that I didn't think was necessary, but added something good, I guess. Season ends there. Alan's with Candy.
And we jump into season 4 with Alan moving back, having spent all the money he won at the casino with Candy, and now divorced from Candy and having to pay alimony to another girl. Yeah. So basically, Alan's broke again. We're back at season 1. Basically the same shit that's happening.
The show restarts, and season 4 was a battle to get through.
It just starts off on a fucking bad vibe, and it's the whole same thing the whole way through.
It's honestly season 1. You're completely right. That's why I hate this shit so much. They talk about, like old times, I guess we're right back where we started. Oh, dude.
Fucking garbage. Now, There's also, some bullshit happens. Alan's paying too much alimony. He's broke. He's cheap. He's borrowing money from Charlie. There's some jokes that go around. Whatever. It's the same bullshit. Then another slightly big thing happens is this chick that actually I think in season 2, Judith, which is Alan's ex-wife, the first ex-wife, was dating one of the guys from Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yeah.
Ends up dating this guy, and his name's Herb. He's a doctor.
I don't mind Herb.
Herb's not bad.
I don't mind Herb.
Herb's all right.
He gets a little more annoying in later seasons, but the way he kind of comes across in the beginning, he's okay.
Yeah. So in season 2, Judith dates Herb for a bit. He disappears for a while. Season 4, he comes back, and Judith and Herb are engaged to be married. And so Alan's excited because now he might not have to pay alimony to Judith anymore, which he's really pumped about. So he tries to force the wedding, which ends up slowing it down and making it not happen. Then eventually it does happen. There's one scene where Herb's first ex-wife shows up at their wedding while Alan, who's Judith's ex-husband, is there, and then she tries to fuck Alan just to get back at Herb. They make a mess of the ceremony. It's just kind of a garbage scene. But I mean, that's basically what happens in season 4.
Yeah, and it's the thing where nothing happens again.
Yeah.
I guess the Judith kind of getting married, okay, sure. It's interesting because, I don't know, I guess we've seen Judith through a couple seasons, so it's a new character development.
Yeah, plus, I mean, we don't mind Herb, so it's all right.
But, the
little
point,
change of pace here.
The point about it being season 1 is just completely true. It's season 1 with a season 2 mentality where it's it's just stupid slapstick humor and toilet humor over and over again, but we see the same plot points leading up to nothing.
And you know what? I think maybe the reason why we like to see Herb marrying Judith a little bit is because part of us deep down feels bad for Alan, but we don't want to. He's a piece of shit, so we don't care about him. But deep down, it's kind of like, just give this guy a break so we don't have to hear about him anymore. So by Herb marrying Judith, he almost gets a little bit of a break because he has more freedom. He doesn't have to pay alimony. So it's kind of like maybe Alan will shut up for a minute. Maybe he'll fucking go away.
Right.
And that brings us to basically the end of season 4. So.
And we do end up meeting a new character, though, Teddy, who is...
that's a good point. I forgot about Teddy.
The mother's love interest. Teddy's introduced and kind of swept away really quick for a minute because she finds another guy, and he dies on the couch, so Teddy stays as her boyfriend. And
we should bring up that there's a lot of death in this show. A lot of people dying.
And no one seems to care ever.
Yeah.
Just, someone's dead. All right.
It's like another dead guy.
Oops.
There's fucking dead people everywhere in this show. Anyways, you're right. Fucking
he shows
Teddy
up.
comes along.
Teddy's fine. He kind of reminds me of a more sophisticated Charlie in a way.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a little more down to earth.
And he almost takes in Charlie and Alan as his sons and really likes them.
And he's nice enough. And
then
at the end of the season, they go to Vegas together.
Right.
They go to Vegas together, yeah.
Right.
And I think that's when they decide they approve of him because...
He buys them hookers.
Yeah, takes him to Vegas, takes him out for dinner or whatever, and buys them hookers. So, and they have this scene where like, thanks, Daddy.
Yeah.
They do that.
Another punchline.
That's the punchline of the episode. I think it ends on that. Then
it also might be the title of the episode. There's a good chance.
It does a classic, man.
Yeah.
That's
so...
great. Oh, should we bring up the drinking game?
Yeah, that's what I'm about to bring up. So basically, that sums up all 4 seasons that we watched so far. I don't think there's a lot more to talk about, but let's talk about our experience a little bit. Now, in order to pass the time while watching the show, we've come up with a couple of different drinking games.
Well, first off, we like to do some work if we can during the show. If there's things to get done, like it's editing a video or working on some graphics or something, we'll try to get that done. But sometimes there's just nothing else to do, so we have to sit and watch it. And
so we got to pass the time somehow because it's mind numbing. So what's the first?
Literally mind numbing. Like there was one time I just walked out of your house. I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, it's true.
I couldn't handle it. I was like, I can't fucking do this anymore. I'm leaving. We'll catch up tomorrow.
Yeah, we were like 3/4 through an episode, and you're like, that's it. I'm out. Done.
I couldn't do it. It's genuinely hard to watch. But yeah, so for the drinking game, I suppose we have a couple things that we just essentially drink to, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Anytime there is. Well, the man.
Yeah, the
which
little
happens,
break.
Like, 3 episodes at least? 3 times at least an episode?
Every time there's a break between scenes, like, big scenes. Yeah, I think about 2-3 times per episode for sure. I think it must be commercial breaks when they come back, but there's
Yeah.
a man
That happens
that
all the
happens.
damn
And
time.
so
We
we
drink
drink
to that.
to drink to that. Another one that we drink to is whenever Charlie drinks, we drink.
Right, which is fairly often. That one usually fucks us over a bit.
And whenever someone's privilege needs to be checked, whenever there's a gay joke, whenever there's one of those.
Which is so often. I would say homophobia is the most prevalent in the show. They make a lot of homophobic remarks in the show.
It's true, they do.
It's quite something. So we drink fairly often to that.
Well, whenever someone's privilege needs to be checked, basically we drink to that.
And it happens all the damn time.
And so we thought we were going to introduce more, but because I think that's all the drinking ones, right?
No, anytime Charlie has sex, we usually drink to
that
that
one,
as well.
that too. So basically, that's the entire episode. So we're like, we're
actually,
just drinking the whole
There's
time.
one more that actually is one of my favorite now.
What's that?
The episode title. We like to.
Oh, yeah.
We read the episode title before we watch it, and then because that's the thing about the show. The episode title is always like a phrase or I guess a catchphrase.
And it comes back to that idea of pushing the envelope. They push the envelope with the episode idea, like she'll be dead before halftime. That's
the booty call.
the booty call. It's like, it's a fucking,
they're
it's
usually
like
punchlines
clickbait.
too, I
it's trying to
guess.
grab your attention almost.
They're usually punchlines too, I guess.
Yeah,
that
they're
is like
basically-
clickbait. That's the original clickbait. You go on your TV guide. It's Thursday night, and you say "Ergo the booty call." Oh,
Gotta
check
see that
out. What's
episode.
that about?
Ergo the booty call. What's that about? Wow.
That is actually maybe becoming my favorite one because it's kind of like when you're watching a movie and like they say the title of the movie in the movie. I'm always
And
like,
it's like,
yeah,
whoa.
Shaka Bra.
Cheers.
Oh, we Shaka Bra a lot, but we don't really drink to the Shaka Bras, do we?
Oh, it's anytime there's a bad punchline, we just shaka.
Yeah, we
it's
just
just
pop a
straight
shaka.
shaka for that.
Anyways, that's gonna be it. Those are the first 4 seasons of 2.5 Men. We are powering through. We're getting there. We're looking to finish this up on the 5th of August, and we'll record shortly after that and release the last episode in this format.
So
then
there's 12 seasons, so we'll have 3 episodes. We're covering 4 seasons
3-part
per
series.
episode.
Just signing off here quickly, we want to talk about the Patreon one more time. Please check that out. That's patreon.com/secondviewing. Support us if you'd like. There's a little Patreon information video there. It's real quick.
You
Just
can win
explains
it.
what it's about.
Yeah, $15 you go home with a notebook. $30 you get a notebook, a shout out, and you get to choose what movie we're working on. There's only a limited amount of those per month, so
Definitely
hop
check
on
that
those
out.
if you're interested.
Yeah, and of course, check us out on YouTube, iTunes, SoundCloud, RSS feeds, all that good stuff.
Whatever your vice is, we're on everything. We're on Podbean, Podtrack, Pod everything.
Yeah, literally any podcast thing that might exist, we're there or we're getting there. So
Yeah.
don't fret. Anyways, I'm Kyle.
I'm Dan.
We're signing out.
Westside Team Mystic.